Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Barely Bookish podcast. Today, we are continuing on talking about Rebecca with the lovely co-host of the Best Book Club podcast. So be sure to join us for that. It's very good. Just some fun announcements up front. So the first things first, over on the merch store, we do have some holiday sales going on. So please check that out. You can get, the Poor Cthulhu shirt or a logo shirt. Or, we do have the apparel as well. So we got a lot of apparel and also accessories like bags and stuff and some stickers. So lots of cool things over there. Very, very fun. So if you're interested, please check that out. As well as we've got the Barely Bookish Book Club is currently talking about window shopping, which is really, really good. I honestly wasn't sure what I was expecting it to be. I thought, because again, I don't read the back covers, I thought it was probably just going to be like Breakfast at Tiffany's moment. But I will say I'm very pleased to find out that it is not a Breakfast at Tiffany's moment, because Breakfast at Tiffany's is terrible. And I won't believe anybody that says otherwise, because it is not good. But yeah, we are currently picking the next, we're suggesting the next book right now, and then we'll be picking it shortly. So if you want to join the Barely Book Club, please go check out barelybookish.com/connect, and you can find the link to our Discord book club over there. And then you can join, and it's very good. Also, please consider checking out the Patreon. This month, for December, we talked about the 40s rendition of the Rebecca movie. So that was done by Alfred Hitchcock. So we did talk about that. And then we are going to be talking about Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. I'm going to be releasing that monthly Patreon episode early, just for Christmas and whatever winter holiday you celebrate, because I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I will be doing that with Bethany from Prince Kai Fan Pod. So please consider joining the Patreon and checking that out. Or if you join Bethany's Patreon, you should be able to see that soon as well. So please check that out. It'll be very good and a whole lot of fun. But yeah, I don't have a whole ton of announcements. We will be going directly into talking when the little theme song is over, because I did have to cut the last episode directly in half. So yeah, it will just be going straight into the subject matter. So if you are into that, you will be into this. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and I'll catch you in the episode. So moving on to chapter 17, our main character just storms up to her room, and like she's sprinting up to her room, which is a vibe already, but like awful. And she says that she wants to be alone, so she sends Clarice to go to the party. She sends everyone away, but then like Beatrice kind of just like forces her way into there. And like this is once again a reminder that Beatrice is her only friend, the only friend she's ever had, and she is a great friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's the best.
Yeah. Beatrice.
Well, she's the second best. Frank is the best.
Yeah, fair.
Right. Yeah.
Beatrice is a little tactless, but I kind of love it for her.
Mm-hmm. It works.
Yeah. I think she's a queen amongst men, to be honest. So then Beatrice breaks the news that is the exact outfit that Rebecca wore at the last party. And I was like, oh, are you serious? Oh my God. Mm-hmm. No. Why? Also, yeah, again, as I said before, why was Rebecca even wearing that? I think it's just because she likes sleeping with cousins. I really think it was just an inside joke to our man. But like, how does everyone not think that's weird? I guess it's because they're all dressing really racist, but
it's true. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Ugh. Gross.
Maybe there wasn't enough awesome media back then. It was, you have to be somebody's cousin or Alice or
it's very small amount of
a race.
Yeah,
of
I
costumes
guess.
to choose from.
But I mean, like, wasn't Lord of the Rings out?
Oh, hobbits would have been great.
Right? Or like something else. Anything else. Like, I don't.
Anything.
Literally, I don't understand at all. It was a choice and it wasn't a good one. So Beatrice is like, hey, how about you just like change into something else? And the main character's like, I'm not going. And like, I feel like we all understand that like fresh hell when
Oh yeah.
you know, you just had like the most embarrassing moment of your entire life and you're like, yeah, there's no way I would ever go back. Thank you.
Yeah, I would not be joining that party at
Mhm.
all.
Mhm.
No.
I don't care how few people saw me. I needed to be at least a couple hours so that like it's not a fresh wound.
I would be listing Manderley online. Be like,
Yeah.
okay, the place is for sale. We
Yeah.
are going.
Yeah. I can't even think of anything that would relate to that. You know what I mean? Like that just is it's so bad.
So bad.
It-
So bad.
yeah. Yeah, because
I think that's why I love it so much, is
Mhm.
because it's just so uniquely devastating, but in such a weirdly relatable way that,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
But I just love the fact that I'll never be in that situation in my entire life.
you just wait.
You never know.
Never say something like that out
Yeah.
loud.
I know, it's just like
Yeah, you haven't figured out your Halloween costume yet.
yeah,
so.
you're right. Like I'm going to like my boss's house. So but like it's a cool boss, so it's fine. Cause it's like you work I don't know. There's something about like when you work at a restaurant, like your bosses can be your homies, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's not true in the corporate world. I would if my when I worked a 9 to 5, if my bosses invited me over to their house on a Halloween party, I'm telling you right now, I would have worn just a Halloween t-shirt. There's no way you would have caught me dead in a Halloween costume. However, because it's this boss, I will be dressing up because he's already said he's dressing up. So I know at least he will also be dressed up.
Unless this is a Mrs. Danvers situation. And
I
it's all a trick.
I
which
now
is my
kind
worst nightmare.
yeah. I may put a change of clothes in the car.
I would be so excited if I got somewhere and I was the only one dressed up. I'd be like, "You all are losers. I'm a cat."
Anyways, so Beatrice is like, okay, I'm just gonna let you chill here. Please come back down though. It's fine. We already made a cover story for you. You're gonna be fine. Which again, appreciating my homegirl Beatrice, she already de-escalated the entire situation because she actually cares about her as a human being. And I love it. So she's like, I'm just gonna go have dinner. I'll get dinner started for you. You know, whenever you want to come down is cool. So then we get again our main character being overly anxious and imagining all the workers talking about her and how she wouldn't come down and like how they must have had a fight and all this stuff. And I'm just like, girl, it's fine. No one knows.
No one cares.
No one cares. Like it was only a faux pas to the people that were present. You know what I mean? Like had she actually worn that and they didn't have that visceral reaction, I think it would have been fine. Like it would have been a little weird, but I don't think it would have been as big of a deal had he not said what he said.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All you do is go put on a veil and
Mhm.
splash a bunch of blood on you. Now, dead bride.
Dead
Yeah.
Although
bride.
this isn't actually a Halloween party. I guess it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
just a fancy dress ball.
then it would be
But-
like Dead Rebecca, which is
better.
Better. It's so out of touch, but it's so good.
Yeah.
I love it. So after being in her room for like many hours at this point, she changes into like an old blue dress and decides to go down, which she could have just saved the wig and gone for Alice in Wonderland. You were correct in this. I
Yeah,
don't
so
understand why she
easy.
didn't.
So easy. Alice in Wonderland is in like my box of easy costumes
Mhm.
because I do have a box of costumes.
Same.
It's just so easy.
I have a red cloak that my mother sewed for me that I try and incorporate into a costume every year. I don't think I'm gonna bring it out this year, but it is killer. Like, and it does that perfect when I walk, flow behind me like Professor Snape does.
Nice.
It is very good. I just don't know what I'm gonna do this year. So if I can incorporate it, it's gonna happen.
Scarlet Witch, do
My
it.
Someone's got to do it, right? Like,
Somebody has to do it.
Just incorporate it into your everyday wear.
Listen. If I
want
was
to.
Like, come
badly.
on.
if I was famous and I could be like a trendsetter, cloaks would already be in fashion again. Okay? Like,
Yeah.
I've said this since I was a child. If I could wear cloaks every day of my life, I would, because it substitutes as a blanket so easily.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I attempted to make witch cloaks a uniform for book club,
Yeah.
and I was so close. I
Yes.
almost got them.
Listen. Oh, I would show up in full support of you. I think I'm pretty sure I even brought it to this apartment. Like, I think I did, actually, because I was really trying to decide. I was like, should I put all my Halloween directions here, or should I leave them at my parents? Because my parents are only 30 minutes away. It's easy access, okay? I have their
Free
garage code.
storage. Yeah.
Free storage, easy access. I have the garage code. I could break in there at 1 a.m. They'd probably be a little upset with me. It's still an option.
Yeah.
So, it's either here or there. I don't know which place it's at. But I would get it, and I would keep it hung up so that I could just wear it every time.
Yep.
Right? I don't.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assigned colors. It was close. So close. Oh.
That love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
So our main character goes back down to the party. She's in her old blue dress. And then our narrator clues us in and is like, hey, this is the first and last party at Manderley I participated in. I was like, oh, all right. Thanks for throwing that out there for us.
The end is near.
Yeah. Like, okie dokie then. So then we get like this overview of the night and like how she's dancing with people, she's eating dinner, she's watching people, all this stuff. But like she doesn't mention Maxim until like the very end of the night when like people are starting to like kind of leave and like they're near each other, but they aren't really talking. She thinks he's still mad. I think he thinks she's mad, whatever. They're not talking at all. And like at this point, our main character is like very upset. She's not really sure what to do. But I guess the way she handles this is by not eating for almost 24 hours, which is not a good coping mechanism.
No.
No. And I mean, she wouldn't know, but if you host a big party with your partner, like a wedding, say, you don't even see each other. It's amazing because you married each other, but you're both busy doing other stuff, and you meet each other at the end of the night like, hey, how was your wedding? Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Honestly, thanks for cueing me into that because I have not gotten married yet. So,
well, it's normal if that's how it goes.
Okay. It kind of sounds terrible, but also I don't really want a big wedding. So,
Yeah, it's busy.
So our main character had a terrible time at this ball, which, you know, the way it started, obviously, of course, she had a terrible time. And she watches the fireworks and she's just like not enjoying herself at all. She just kind of watches them and she's like, hey, why do we do this? She's like basically in a trance as she's watching them, like thinking about like, why is there even a fireworks show? Why do we do all these tiny explosions? Why is this anything? And yeah, she just does that. That's the whole party to her, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I know.
It could have been so fun.
Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't even look like Maxim had fun either.
Well, no, he hates those things.
Yeah.
If they had talked like 4 months earlier, it could have been so fine.
Yeah.
Bad communication. That's just so
Makes
annoying.
Crazy.
The worst part is it's like realizing she had only been at Manderley for like a week when they did this too.
Right.
Like this part was planned in like 3 days, if that.
Yeah.
Like, our girl's overwhelmed, and I feel bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's got a lot on her plate.
Yeah. So the party's finally over and done with. And then Maxim and Giles go over to hang out with Frank and Beatrice. Sorry. The party's finally over and done with, and so Maxim and Giles go over and hang out with Frank while Beatrice goes and checks on our main character, and she's like, hey, it's fine. Just go to bed. No one's worried about it. You're cool. And I'll go tell Maxim that you went to bed. And she's like, okay, cool. So our girl goes to bed, and then, she like tries to wait for an hour, has a really hard time falling asleep, and Maxim still hasn't come to bed. And then she finally falls asleep. And then we're on to chapter 18. And it's in this moment that I had forgot people actually used to sleep in separate beds, because she mentions that she looked over at his bed, and I was like,
Yeah,
what?
you gotta push those suckers together.
Yeah.
Because it's so much work.
I'm like, no wonder you guys don't have offspring yet. Anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I also remember seeing, was it Pleasantville, where they had two separate beds, but they were like both twin beds, and I was like, ew.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, were doubles not invented yet? Like, did everyone just have a twin bed? Because that sounds terrible.
Yeah, so bad.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I can't even. Sorry.
I have a king,
Mhm.
but because I've got so many kids, me and my husband each get a strip on the side, and then everybody else is in there just living it up. So
I've got a queen, and every day I'm like, I should get a king, but I also don't have space for a king. And also, I know if I got a king, my boyfriend would still squeeze me to the very edge. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It won't change anything for me at this point.
a twin kind of actually sounds luxurious to me at this point.
As long as you're the only one in it.
Right?
And you're like, have fun on your side of the room. Anyways.
I've got a sidecar crib, which is just connected to the bed. I've thought about just crawling in there.
Yeah.
Okay, baby, you go in the bed. Mommy just needs some room.
Yeah. Right. I must, like, we push the bed against the wall fully, so I sleep against the wall.
Oh, worst.
I mean, I don't have like a nightstand or anything, so I finally put my phone, 'cause it's against the wall which has a window on it, so I put my phone on the
so
little,
you have a ledge.
Yeah, I got a little window ledge I put my phone on, which really was an upgrade when I realized I could do that. But the worst part is I wake up first, so I have to crawl to the foot of the bed like a little mouse, and then get off the bed, and then I can start my day. And I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. So chapter 18. I already said that because I talked about the separate beds. So we realize that Maxim never came to bed. And, with all that we know now, I still don't know where our man slept last night.
Yeah,
I don't think he did. I think he just walked around.
Yeah.
Probably looks like crap today.
Think about it, though. Like, this party did end at 5 a.m., but he was hanging out with, like, Beatrice or he was hanging out with Giles and Frank. So our man probably just never went to sleep, because she woke up at 11. So it's only, like, what? 6 hours?
He probably just carried on with his day, because he's got a job and stuff,
It was a past. He probably did a ton of coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true.
Like fancy Coke,
Fancy coke.
They did Coke and then they like drank coffee or something, like adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, I was like, oh, I didn't really think about where he would have slept, and then I just had to air that for everyone. I needed us all to play that like little mind game together.
Yep.
So our main character goes to worst case scenario, as per usual, and she's like, my marriage has failed. I'm getting a divorce. Only 3 months in, everyone's gonna talk about it. And then, like, as she's thinking about this, she looks over And Beatrice had slid a note under her door and was like, "Hey, just we're leaving early to go get home," which I thought was nice of her because that way
It's
she's
considerate.
yeah, like Beatrice is the real homie. Like I love her.
Yeah.
So the main character leaves the room, and no one has seen Maxim at all. Which I was like, in that moment, I was like, did he leave her? But like, this is his home, so
Yeah, where could he go?
yeah. I was like, this is sus. I'm gonna be honest. I thought before we realized Rebecca was a terrible person, I thought maybe he went to go be in the cottage.
Or the West Wing could have done
Ooh,
that.
or he went and put on her old lingerie.
Yeah, slept in her bed.
Yeah.
Ew.
But I also like there's like 8,000 guest rooms. Like he could have slept in any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he had to sleep on the couch as you do in the modern day. So she calls Frank and she's like, "Hey, I haven't seen Maxim at all." And he's like, "What do you mean? Did he not come home?" Which cues us in the fact that they definitely parted ways after like a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, "Hey, I think, Maxim's gonna leave me. He was really upset last night, all this stuff." And Frank is like panicking because that's what Frank does. Frank's panics, which I love that. She's in good
Yeah.
company. It's fine. So
I want to spin off this just her and Frank.
yeah. Or just this from Frank's point of view would be great.
Yeah, right.
Like, I want him waking up to this phone call. Like, cigarette butts littering the floor in his tiny bachelor pad with, like, on his nightstand, there is whiskey. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So the main character says, "I think that Maxim still loves Rebecca." And Frank's like, "Hey, I'm going to be honest. I need to come to your house right now." And she's like, "No." It's like, "No, I really can't tell you this on the phone. I need to come to your house." And then she hangs up on him. And I was like, girl.
I don't know why she keeps expecting people to talk to her on the phone. She knows Mrs. Danvers can just pick up another line and listen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, isn't this point in time in which you had to have like operators connect you?
Maybe.
Because the operators listen.
Oh.
So that
Yeah, I don't know when the operator stopped.
I don't know either. But we also don't really know when this was written. So I don't know if this is like, oh, your curly Q home phone or rotary phone, or this is like
tin can on a string.
Yeah, I don't know what period we're in, to be honest. So, like, what is period clothing to these people? I don't know.
She didn't even either. I think she said it could have been the 1700, the 1800, 1900.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's cave wear, okay?
Just loincloths.
Yeah. So she ends up like going outside for some reason. And then she looks around and Mrs. Danvers is watching her from a window again. And I'm like, can we just fire her, please? Like, again.
After last night?
Yeah. I'm sorry. As I
Come
was
on.
streaking through crying, I would have pointed her in the eye and been like, "You're fired." You know?
Yes.
Or like, it's like, "You're fired, fired, fired." Yeah. And then on the pager, again, paging Mrs. Danvers, "You are fired, fired, fired." Like, there would have been 8 different ways I would have told her she was fired, okay?
Yeah, slide a note right under the door.
Fired.
Oh, P.S. You're fired.
Still fired. Leave the premises. You have 10 minutes to get out of here. Otherwise, I'm throwing your belongings into the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that woman needed to go 8 chapters ago, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So, our main character is like, "I'm tired of this," as she should, and decides to go and confront Mrs. Danvers. And then Mrs. Danvers has been crying. And I'm like, you have the audacity to be crying right now when you just embarrassed this poor woman who's done nothing to you. Not a single thing, except for the fact that she married someone's ex-husband.
Yeah.
What?
Get over it.
Like, you can pick on anybody in this situation. You could pick on Maxim for marrying someone so closely after losing his wife. Anybody else except her, because she didn't do anything. She did not enter into that marriage. She didn't know Rebecca. There's no reason to be mean to her at all.
No, she's just an evil, cold-hearted, unkind person.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate her.
But I do love her rambling about Rebecca. We get to know so much about who this person was in
Mm-hmm.
her weird crying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in that, our Mrs. Danvers is like, "Why'd you even come to Manderley? We were fine without you. And if you loved Maxim, you never would have married him." What?
That's not how it works.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but when two people love each other, they usually get married. It's kind of how that works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then she finally says that she resents the main character for trying to take Rebecca's place. But again, a reminder that Mrs. Danvers forced her to take Rebecca's place. She never insinuated that she wanted to do anything that way. Like, she was like, "Hey, just keep it the same, it's fine." But she never was like, "Oh, if Rebecca's routine is going to the morning room, I'm going to the morning room." Like, they told her basically what her routine had to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's not fair.
it's not fair at all. And then she ends up saying about how she used Rebecca, like Mrs. Danvers starts like filling us in on what Rebecca's life was. And she's like, she used her beauty to her advantage. Like, she got all the boys she ever wanted. And then she, like, this is the first hint that she kind of implied that, not even implied, she basically told the main character that Rebecca would just cheat on her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't say with who. And then she tells us that her and her cousin were very close. And I was like, oh, that's
weird.
cute. Like, I was like, oh, nice. Like, they're good family cousins. Your families are really close. That's nice that you're close with your cousin. Your cousin. And then she keeps like going on and just dragging the main character through month. And she's like, all the servants are laughing at you when you try to take Rebecca's place. And
Which
then
she doesn't do.
she doesn't.
Ugh.
And I don't think anybody's laughing at her. Like, I really don't think
No.
Robert and Firth could care at all. They're like,
No.
whatever. It's my job. I don't. No. Nobody cares. Not a single soul
Not at
cares.
all. Not at all.
Because it's like she's not an inconvenience to anybody. So it's like when you have that laid back of a boss, like, I'd just be like, chill, whatever. Like,
Mhm.
cool. That's fine. And then Mrs. Danvers says that she thinks that our main character told Maxim about Jack being there, and she's like, "No, I literally didn't say anything." And she's like, "No one else was here. No one else could have told anything." And I'm like, "You weren't that careful. Like, you really
Mhm.
weren't."
No. Also, shut up. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
She's the lady of the house.
yeah, she
Yeah.
can
She
do
can
whatever
actually
she,
do
whatever
Yeah.
she wants. Like,
Right?
ugh.
And then this is when Mrs. Danvers says that even her cousin was in love with her. And that's like our first little teaser, little hint at what was going on. And I was like, ew.
Well,
Mhm.
and everything Mrs. Danvers said about her, I was like, none of these things are good. Like, you're really painting a very bad picture of Rebecca.
Yeah, and she wants us to like praise her for like basically manipulating men to get what she wants. Like,
Yeah. No.
like, go off, I guess, but like also no.
So there are these two different camps with Rebecca. The or she was written as the villain, as we find out when Maxim kills her.
Mm-hmm.
And in the past, that's how people looked at it. But then time moved, and now people are like, Maxim is the villain because he killed a strong, independent woman for doing what she wants, and they're taking like this weird feminist angle.
Okay.
And the thing is, she was not very nice, and she was sleeping with actually everybody.
Yeah.
That does not mean strong, independent woman.
Also, I hate when
No.
people say that, like, that's what feminism is, because feminism is basically just equal rights. And, like, here's the thing. If Maxim was going around and sleeping with everybody and cheating on his wife, we'd hate Maxim.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Maxim was trying to be loyal to his wife, who was literally wouldn't let him get a divorce. And he was pushed to his limit. And I think Rebecca's the villain, because once again, like, had he not killed her, like, our man would have had to live a life of pain and suffering, and how is that fair to him?
And raise just a child that he knows isn't his.
Yeah.
And is going to take everything.
And also an incest child?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was trying to read it this second time from this angle now that I know that
Mhm.
angle exists, but I really couldn't get on
No,
board.
that does not paint independent women in a
Listen,
very good light.
I don't
Like,
care if you want to do that. Like, if that's what you want to do, you want to sleep around. Like, I have no problem with that. But don't marry someone and then cheat on them forever. Just don't get married. If that's what you want to do and you want to date around and, go off. Be that person. Do that. Great for you. No one needs to commit to a relationship if you don't want to. But don't commit to a relationship and expect to still live that same lifestyle. Like, that's not
Mhm.
fair. Unless
Yeah.
both parties agree on it. And then, like, polyamory, also fine with. I don't care what you do, but you both have to be in agreement for that.
Ugh,
yeah, and she
my
was cruel about
biggest
it.
rule. Yeah, she was so cruel.
Yeah.
Just consenting adults.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want in
Yeah.
a story. Is consenting adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had an agreement in which she violated continuously.
Mhm.
Like, we're getting ahead of ourselves again.
Yes.
But I'm enraged, and I'm gonna put the little stopper in that, and we'll come back to it in a moment. Okay. So, again, flashback to where we were at. Danvers is, again, being mean to the main character as per usual, but now she takes it up a level and tries to get the main character to kill herself.
Yeah, right?
And I was like, what?
And the worst part is that she considered it.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, maybe I should just jump out the window. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, hold on a minute. What? And why? Whomst and how?
Excuse me?
Yeah. What?
The scary skeleton ghost lady is like whispering in your ear.
And then she, like, kind of gets put into, like, a trance. And I feel like Mrs. Danvers did this purposely, because she brought her all the way down. And then she's like, again, everyone hates you. No one likes you. You're basically a replacement character. Die.
Mhm.
Like, she curated this very well. And I hate that for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also did the mortification from the night before. Like, she was really angling to destroy this woman.
For no reason. For literally no. And the worst part is just, like, if Mrs. Danvers had given her a chance, they probably would have been fine.
Mhm.
But, like, she didn't even bother to do that. So, I don't know. So then, luckily, suddenly there's fireworks, which, ironic, but, and it saved the day. All right, so that's all we got time for today. So thank you both so much for joining me. Where can all the listeners find you guys in your podcast?
Oh, me.
Hit it, Jen.
Yeah, you guys can find us at best_book club pretty much everywhere, but mostly on Instagram. Or you can just send us an email at best_bookclub@outlook.com.
And give them a listen, because it's really fun. So definitely do that. But we will catch you guys in the next episode, where we'll talk more about him killing his wife, because I thought these chapters would go faster, and they didn't. But it's fine.
Yes, a spoiler.
Spoiler, little teaser. But we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
thank you all so much for listening to this episode of the Barely Bookish podcast. As I mentioned in the intro, we are going to be making new books soon for the Barely Book Club. So if you want to join, now is the perfect time. We are still suggesting. So, if you want to put your book out there that you want to talk about, please throw it in there. We like to read new books. So yeah, definitely put your little 2 cents in there. It'll be great. But we have a lot of things going on right now. I am very excited for the merch store and the sale that's going on over there. So if you want to get something for yourself or for someone for the holidays, please consider checking that out. Also, if you want to watch me play D&D, I've been playing D&D over on the Rhapsodic Geeks channel. So it's Rhapsodic_Geeks on Twitch. So please check that out if you like D&D. We're playing the Candlekeep Mysteries game right now. And we should have another game coming out in the beginning of January. But I play over there, and then I also have my own Twitch channel. barelybookish.com or twitch.tv/barelybookish. Can you tell I'm used to putting my own website out there? So if you want to watch me play games on Twitch, that's where I'm probably going to start playing Hades soon, because I did buy it on the Black Friday sale, because I've been listening to a whole lot of the newest Olympian podcast. And Mike Schubert is really obsessed with Hades. So I've been listening to that a lot, and now I was like, okay, I have to get it because my friends have already been suggesting it. So now's the time. But yeah, our logo was designed by my little sibling Sarah. Our theme song was created by Raphael Crux on freepd.com. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you guys next week with even more Rebecca. Bye!